Hey folks, Pat Mitchell here. Tonight we're going to be discussing why you start to take such big losses and you can't handle the heat, so to speak, once you start deciding to size up and level up the sizing of your trading. So just getting into it, we need to understand, of course, like I've said a million times before, that day trading is a game of emotion and emotional control. We're also basically masters of risk. That's the only thing that we're able to control. We can't control the market, so we need to be able to control our risk. I would say, out of a list of a few things that we're going to go over of why you start taking bigger losses and things start to snowball out of control once you size up is, number one, you're not doing simple math. That's all it boils down to. So I'll give you an example. Now, when you're trading options, let's say you start off really small at one contract. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that one contract has a value of 100 shares. So if you're trading something like Apple or Nvidia or SPY, that's a big position, number one. But the biggest thing is when it comes to size, to go from one contract to two contracts. How big of an increase is that? It is a 100% increase, okay? That's a big deal. Now, I know there's some out there that are saying, oh, but it's only one contract. Fuck that. You're not looking at it correctly. You're not looking at it from a risk perspective. You're also not preparing yourself for bigger losses. So with bigger size is going to come bigger losses. That's the nature of the beast. Now that you finally got your shit together and you want to size up, what a lot of people will do is they'll go from 2 or 3 or 4 contracts and they'll jump all the way up to 20. That is hundreds of percent increase. Do you understand where I'm going with this? And do you see how that could absolutely become a problem? See, one of the problems is a lot of people just, and it's going to sound like a burn, it's not though. They're not thinking. That's what it boils down to. It's something that we all need to really start doing as traders, or else you're going to absolutely crash and burn in this game. So there's that, right? So if you have a $100 stock, right, that you're trading, and you take 10 contracts, that's 1,000 shares. That's your position size. So now let's talk about the price of SPY right now. It's about $450. It's in and around that area. It doesn't matter. So that's $450 per share times 1,000. That's just at 10 contracts. That's what the equivalent is. Now you need to ask yourself, can you handle a position that is a $40,000, $100,000, $500,000 position? Would you normally take, if you were trading the stock, would you be taking a $500,000 position? Most of you, the answer is absolutely no. Now, when you start getting into actual size, you're looking at millions of dollars in that position. And that's what people are not taking account of, okay? So the next thing is that I would want to discuss is why people are taking bigger losses. Because you've never worked on yourself. You've never tried to get your emotions under control. And again, it boils down to when you size up, you are going to have bigger losses, right? You will have bigger gains, but you're also going to have bigger losses. Nobody wants to think about the losses. Right? They only want to think, oh man, if I took 50 contracts, I could make $10,000 a day. That's the shit and the lies and the bullshit that people start telling themselves. Okay, so you can. When you're sizing up, you're taking 50 contracts, 100 contracts, couple hundred contracts, you can absolutely make $5,000, $10,000 a day very easily. Are you prepared for a $5,000, $10,000 hit? Are you? Can you handle that? If the answer is no, then you have no business trading that size. So a step, instead of coming to you with just problems, I want to come to you with solutions. That's what makes Tricktrades and myself different. What I suggest you do is to size up very slow. I've given this analogy before, but it is a perfect analogy when it comes to this. If you have a frog and you throw them in a boiling pot of water, the water is rolling boil. he's going to jump right out, right? He's going to be like, this is fucking crazy, I'm out of here. If you take that same frog and you put him in a cool pot of water and then you turn the stove on and it boils, it comes to a rolling boil slowly, he'll sit in there. Now, I know that that is a negative. We all don't want to be a frog sitting in boiling water. But the point is, when you subject yourself to something slowly, you do not notice. And that's the secret, especially with options trading. Because again, taking you back to that first point, one contract jumping up to 2 contracts is a 100% increase. 2 to 4, same thing. 4 to 8, same thing. These are massive increases percentage-wise. So if you're comfortable with taking a $20 loss at one contract, right? That's about a 20% loss, which in options, that's completely fine because your percentage, your wins are way over that. So if you're comfortable with a $20 loss, then when you go to 2, you got to be comfortable with 40. You understand where I'm going with this, right? Do some simple math. That's all it takes. And that will tell you what your comfort zone is. Now, it's also going to boil down to how much are you risking? What is your risk strategy? There's a lot of you that don't. I was actually just talking with someone today on Twitter that hit me up, and I'm sure he'll watch this, and I mean this in the best respect. So he just blew up an account, and he wanted to take some time off. He's not a member of Tricktrades or anything. So he hits me up, and he asked me about trading SPY options, and he's asking about delta and this and that and how do you risk. It's like, man, you are fucking overcomplicating shit. So I sent him a message, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, and I said, listen, man, you're gonna blow up again. You're not thinking straight. So he ended up taking some of my advice and he took some time off. So now he's back. He wired back in $5,000 again into an account. And what do you think is gonna happen? And again, man, I mean no disrespect. You got to remember, I've been doing this shit a long time. I've been training and helping traders for a long time. People are trying to do this shit on their own. A very rare breed of individual can do this on their own, folks. And so when I'm telling you, you need to get your head straight because you're not seeing things clearly, come join along, thinks I'm just trying to sell them shit. That might be only partially true. It's like, sure, the subscription does cost money, but my time costs money. And he's going to throw $5,000 into it. He's going to burn up $5,000 to save $197. Does that make sense? So I know I've veered off a little bit, but what he wasn't understanding is sizing according to risk. But in his last note, after telling him exactly what to do and snapping his crosshairs, he wants a direct answer from me. He wants to know exactly how much size to take for a $150 risk. That's not my job. That's your fucking job. You're relying, and this is the problem here too, guys. This is a big one. You're relying on a stranger, somebody you have no idea what their intentions or motives are. You have no idea. If you have only just met me, what do you know about me? You don't know anything about me. Let's be honest. Let's be fucking real here. I could have malicious intent. Maybe I'm a lunatic and I want every trader that comes to me for advice to fucking crash and burn. There's lunatics out there, guys. Now, I know that that's a super dramatic example, but do you understand where I'm going with this? Take some fucking accountability and start developing a risk strategy on your own. You want to do this shit on your own, so fucking do it on your fucking own. And yes, I am swearing at you because you need to get your shit together. So many traders need to get their shit together. They rely on others to come up with a fucking plan for them. Why? Do it yourself. If you can't do it yourself, then pay a guy. Pay someone like me to show you how to do it. That's it. It's an easy trade-off. You either struggle and you blow up or you don't. And I know I'm veering off on this on a tangent. I understand that. But I get hit up so many times by traders that want to size up or they want to learn how to risk, and they're asking me generic questions. And they're not asking the right questions. The questions that they're asking has nothing to do with what their actual goal is. And then I give them the answer and they're like, yeah, I understand. No, I understand what sizing according to risk is, and I'm going to snap my crosshairs. I even told him how to snap his crosshairs, Do some simple math. And he wants me to do the fucking math for him. At what point do we take accountability, and what point do we set our ego aside and we say we need help? If you need help, you need help. Come get some proper help. I can't text back and forth with you on Twitter and tell you exactly what you need to do. Every trade is different, and there's a reason why I have a specific risk strategy for that. That's included with a membership. It's right there. I've done all the heavy lifting for you, but you want me to do more heavy lifting. And that's the problem with fucking traders now, man. Most of you are lazy. You want a quick cookie cutter answer. And the problem is, he's probably going to watch this. He's going to get pissed off. He's going to stop following me on Twitter. And he's going to go find another guy that's going to give him the fucking answer he wants. Do you think that answer is actually going to help? It might help for that trade. Is it going to help in the long run? No. It's not. Why? Because the guy on the other end that is actually going to answer that question and say, oh, just risk $150 and start in with one and then start in with another two and then add this and do that and you'll be good. He doesn't fucking care about you because that's bullshit information that holds no weight. People want to always throw around 90% of traders fail, but they don't understand what that number is. That's 90%. Do you fucking realize how big that is? What makes you think you can just fucking waltz your way in like a swinging dick and you're going to make it happen without even a plan, without even doing simple math? This is the problem. And it boils down and it all gets tied in with how you're sizing. When you're oversizing or you decide to size up without having a proper strategy in place, do you think you're ready for that? Nope, you're not. Why? Because a prepared trader would already know the answer to those questions. They would have done the math. They would have done the research. They would have the answers before sizing up. The problem is people want to size up to make money. People want to trade to make money. And I know that sounds like a crazy statement. If you're here because you want to day trade to make money, you're lost. You don't get it. And I guarantee I'm going to have some jerk off in the comment section saying, what do you mean you fucking, of course you're trying to make money. That's why we're here, you dumb fuck. Do anything for money and see how it works out. See how that works out long term. See if you actually can master that. See if you're actually any good at doing something like that where you're strictly in it for the money. Have you ever taken a job because the money was really good, almost too good to be true, and you get there and it was fucking hell? I have. I learned that lesson years ago when I was still a fucking welder. You can't do anything for the sake of just money. If you do, you will fail and you will be miserable. So when you are sizing up, size up, go slow, and make sure you're prepared. Understand, do some simple math. Understand, going from one contract to two contracts is a 100% increase. Going from one contract to 10 contracts jumping up because, oh, it's only 10 contracts. Do the math on that percentage. Just do it quickly in your head. We all know the answer. That's fucking monstrous. That is a monstrous percentage increase. People don't want to do the math. They don't understand. They don't think ahead. This is the problem that traders are facing. You need someone to talk some sense into you. And if by chance you happen to stumble along someone that does take the time to give you voice messages, fucking listen to them. Hang on every fucking word. Especially when you see the way that man or woman is living. When they live like a fucking king or a queen, fall on every word. Every word. Don't dismiss them. Don't think you know more because you don't. Ego is another one. So when you are sizing up, are you sizing up because you've earned it? Or is it simply out of ego because you want to make more money? Because you see Joe Blow over there, some jerk off trader trading with size. Oh, I can do that. Set yourself goals, guys. Set goals and do things properly. And I promise you, all of this shit will come. The last point that I'm going to make of why traders start taking bigger losses once they start sizing up is because they're not ready. Again, it boils down to self-work. How much self-work? How much emotional control have you put in? Do you have your emotions under control? Do you? And it boils down to being in uncomfortable situations. Do you practice putting yourself in uncomfortable situations in your outside life, meaning your day-to-day life? Do you? This isn't cross-stitch. This isn't crocheting as a hobby. This is fucking day trading, where there is stress, there is anxiety if you are not prepared. The last step, accepting. Accepting that this will get hairy. You need to push yourself to the limits, like I've said before in multiple podcasts and interviews. This takes everything. It will push you to a limit that you've never thought possible mentally. See, the issue is we don't have bruises, we don't bleed, we don't have cuts, we don't have black eyes and broken noses. We don't have physical pain when it comes to trading. This is why people will continuously make the stupid mistakes, because most people on this planet have the memory of a fucking goldfish. 15 minutes and they forget. It's actually 12 minutes. That's fucked up. 12 minutes you forget. It's crazy, guys, to think that you can go through day trading and be unscathed. This isn't folding sweaters at the Gap, where there is no risk. You will bleed, you will bruise, and you will absolutely get beaten up. And if you don't enjoy that, you're in the wrong business. Adios.